Today I will make some hummus, and this is homemade hummus using just a few ingredients. It's also a good moment to talk about this Ninja blender. I will use just a can of chickpeas, and I will just use this lower blade. I don't need to slide in the upper blade, so I don't have to clean both of them. This one sits too high, so it doesn't really spin in there. The chickpeas just don't have all the same taste, so you may want to try different brands. You recognize, I guess, the place where I bought this, and this one has no salt added. If you want to try, or you have a salt diet or something like this is just a regular. So let's just perhaps empty the fluid on the can. I will reuse part of this fluid, otherwise the hummus gets too dry. Some people like to use water, but I really like to use the liquid from the can because I feel like it adds the taste to it. Just adding water. Basically the can is already cooked. You don't need to cook anything in there. One small warning depending on the brand. If you feel like the fluid is like gelatin, it's kind of sticky, stuck together, don't use that can no matter what, throw it away, get another brand. Alright, this is one of the things. Let's just throw in some lemon juice. I'm cheating a little bit. I'm using this into the bottle, which is not the best taste, but not the worst. Some bottles are really tasting awful, not this one. But if you have patience and get a real lemon, I would say it will get maybe half a real lemon. It will taste a little bit better, but I'm cheating a little bit. The amount of lemon juice, I would say 3 to 4 tablespoons, depends also on the taste. And you can also throw in at this moment the garlic. It's not an absolute must doing this hummus with garlic. It just kind of changes a little bit the taste unless you really put a lot of this. I'm cheating again, unfortunately. Yes, this is a Chinese garlic, and I know online sites says this is really bad to eat. I don't think that really bad, but anyhow, if you want to get fresh garlic and just maybe put 1 or 2 bits, I would say 1 piece, and just crush it, that's perhaps a little bit better. But I found sometimes the fresh garlic is just a little bit too strong to my taste. This Chinese one, it's not that strong. So this time a teaspoon should be plenty enough. Time to add some liquid. How much of it? This is the full can. Perhaps I will put maybe half of it. One of the things is that if you throw it all at once, maybe you are going to put too much of it and it's going to be too fluid. So try by first a small quantity and add as needed. Later on you can mix it later on, no problems. Bigger pitcher, it's 48 ounces, I think. Some of the Ninja blenders came with a second pitcher, a 40 ounces one, and I believe that will be even better and easier to use, but I like to use this bigger one for now. Don't forget a little bit of salt. I'm using the chickpeas that are already salted, so just a tiny bit. It depends on the taste. I like to use Himalayan because it's a rock salt. I've been used to it since I was a child, and I really like the taste. It's a little bit more intense. Let's just give it a spin now. Just placing the cover in place. You notice this cover needs to be adjusted, just align a little bit with the handle. Don't forget to close it. Notice there is a part area where you need to match it with the motor itself. The motor has a small edge here, so you need to match it. And it's good to have this pitcher positioned in such way so you have the button of the motor. So let's just give it a spin. How long? Basically, this motor, it's written in the instructions. You should not let it spin for more than about 15 seconds at the time. That's because it heats up, and if you get it to work too long, it will burn, so you don't want that. There have been already a few people complaining about that. I'm going to spin it perhaps 20 seconds, not more than that for first time. Let's just give it a little break. And at this moment, you can also pretty much check a little bit the consistency. And you notice I did not add at this point the tahina. That's for two reasons actually. First, I want just to blend a little bit the chickpeas to just get it to the right consistency for my taste. I don't want them to be perfectly smooth. I really like to have a little bit of bits of chickpeas in there, but that's just really up to you. The second reason for this is that I just spin it one more time, and I like to rest the chickpeas into the lemon juice for a few minutes, maybe 5 minutes. I don't know if it really changes the taste, but that's just me. I really like them to sit for about 5 minutes. Let's just spin it one more time. So that's about it, maybe 20-30 seconds, and now let's just rest for 5 minutes. One of the things that's a little bit annoying with this blender is you have to remove all the time the motor, and you have to keep it in your hand like this. And I can tell you that this motor, it's quite heavy, and also you cannot really grab it properly. When you rest it on the table, it just rolls. This way is not too stable. So that's perhaps a little bit of a downside. I guess a woman who has a smaller hand, just make sure you grab it with both hands, and also try not to smear food on it, because I'm not sure how easy is this to wash. You cannot put it under the water jet, so you need to clean it with wipe it something. All right, so what we got here is the tahina. And it's a coincidence, but I also got this from a big store with a blue name on it, so as not to name the store. I think the tahina also come in different tastes. I really like this one. It does last for quite a long time. The pre-mentioned date I think is 2020 or something like this, so at least 1 or 2 years. One of the downside is that it just gets really thick at the bottom as it stays on the shelf. So I will grab just a wood stick like this, something really solid, and try to stir at the bottom. And honestly, I had to stir for a good 5 minutes in order to bring it back homogeneous. How much tahina? I think I put about 4 or 5 full tablespoons. But again, it is better to go step by step, put an amount and try it, spin it, add some more, because if you are adding too much, then you cannot go back unless you have kept some chickpeas on the side. So it's already also a matter of taste. Let's just give it a spin at this point. And this should be it, another perhaps 15 or 20 seconds spinning. And I can tell you that this is downright tasty. It's really fresh. I think it gets 4 or 5 portions, depends how much you eat of this, but it's very close to the fresh store one. I mean the one that's made daily for stores that perhaps have Arabic or Arab employees who know what they are doing. And now you may wonder why I didn't put oil in there. Honestly, adding oil into the mix doesn't really bring out much to the taste and also to the texture, really not much unless you are adding a lot of oil. The way I recommend olive oil is just add it to the top. That's what most Arabic people do, I think. And also one of the things, when you choose an olive oil, make sure to get not the random one from your local grocery stores. Most of them basically have very little taste. The real ones will taste a little bit like green leaves. They really has a very distinctive taste. So when you add it to the hummus, it really adds to the taste, but not stir just on top of it. And now about the blender, a few words. Coming down to cleaning, This is perhaps the most downside of this blender. This is just the lid here, this is the upper part, this is the underneath, and you notice this recessed area here. When the food gets in there, there is no way you really clean this properly. So what I would like to do all the time after I've just done it and I've just finished work with it, right away I will get the water jet on it. I will just clean it nicely and go to these deep places also where you put it here. Don't forget to open this guy, clean inside. Many people did complain about cleaning the blades. Yes, it's not very amusing. It's easy to hurt yourself. You notice those areas here, you really need to go to with a sponge and also underneath. And I really go easily. It will take me perhaps 1 or 2 minutes to clean this guy properly. But that's the downside. So this is it, guys, and people, I hope you really enjoyed this video. I think this is more a not really a food processor. The blades are really small in diameter. They are really tiny for a food processor and perhaps not exactly that powerful, the motor, but for a blender I guess it does the work. And also you may try to get some humus out of it. Thanks for watching.